Sac Passe, welcome to the Muriam Cinevert Show, a place where we embrace being you, being bold, and being true. My name is Muriam Cinevert, and today we have the beautiful, the gorgeous, the serialpreneurs diva with us, Miss Belinda Sanders. Welcome, darling.
Hey, girl. You are looking so good, sis.
Thank you. Coming from
Killing
you, I take it, I
it.
take it.
Yes.
You are just beautiful. Just
Oh,
beautiful. But before
thank
we get
you.
into how we've met, and you had the pleasure being on the cover of True Self magazine. As usual, we have to get into the
Yes,
Muriam Cinevert moment of the week.
absolutely.
And the Muriam Cinevert moment of the week is this life lesson. This week, I learned something very, very, very deep. One of my mentors, she said to me, she said, Miriam, do you write your everyday steps down? I said, what do you mean? She said, well, every day when you wake up, you step out of there, out on the streets, what do you do? How do you give back? Do you write down what you do for others? And I said, I do a lot for others, but I never really write down what I give to others, right? And I started doing that. I started writing down, okay, today I gave a homeless man $20. Today I did this. Today I did that. And then when I look back at it, it makes me feel really good knowing that I changed somebody's life, even if it was $1, even if it was a burger, even if it was anything. It's important to journal our daily steps. And making that change, I will keep going and going because it helps me to sleep better at night. So that is the Muriam Cinevert moment of the week, is journaling your steps, your life steps, which I know you know a lot about that because you like to journal.
I do. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, I have my personal journal,
Okay.
which is the Dear Future Husband 31-day affirmation journal.
Affirmation
So
journal.
yeah, it's designed to help you to manifest basically anything you want.
So the
So,
journal already have the affirmations on there, or is this you
yes,
writing your own affirmations?
both.
Both.
Yeah.
And for 31 days, by someone reading this affirmations, what will happen in 31 days?
Well, if you follow the journal to the T, I personally believe, and I do have testimonies to support it, that you will begin to see like real life manifestations of the things that you may have had a blockage for in the past. So the book is amazing. It literally is designed not just to show you, and you have you write down everything you want, but the secret or the power behind the journal is when you get to see who you need to be in order to have those things happen for you, but not just happen, but to stick around.
Stick
So
around. And I
yeah.
do believe that because anything you need, it's in the power of writing.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to manifest, you have to write it down because while you're writing it down, you're also speaking it and you are also seeing
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
that causes the manifestation to
Yep.
happen quicker. So I
Yes.
do believe that. I had the honor to have you on the cover of the summer of 2023 Yourself magazine. It is such a beautiful cover, and I have to
Thank
tell you, we sold
you.
out of this.
I love
We sold out of
it.
this cover, and 1 week we had over 12,000 digital download in this cover. So
Ooh,
thank you for
yes.
saying yes, and such great article. So anybody who's watching this, you can still go to Walmart.com and get your True Self magazine with Belinda Sanders in there. And we got connected through a very close friend, which is
Yes.
Mr. John Blassingame. So thank you, Mr. John Blassingame, for connecting me with the beautiful Belinda Sanders. And you also mentored me.
Yes.
You mentored me to be able to sit here in this chair today to
Yeah.
start my Muriam Cinevert Show. During the time you were mentoring me, you shared with me some of your challenges, like
Yeah.
before you become the big entrepreneur that you are right now.
Yeah.
And tell us some of those challenges, or at least
Yeah.
one of them.
Well, you know what? interesting enough, I came from poverty. And I was one of those women that I would go to the store and I would always pick out the nicest, most expensive item. And then I would look at the price tag. And I'm like, oh, wait, I can't afford this, right? And it was in that experience that God ministered to me. And we literally had a conversation in the store. I never forget it. I said, Lord, you gave me this taste.
Right.
I love beautiful things.
Right. So provide the dinero.
So I know that
Right.
it's not, I'm not seeking this out. It's just my default is nice things.
Yes.
So since you made me like this, surely you have a plan for my life that leads me on a roadmap to success. Because I'm not going to use my body. I'm not going to manipulate men for money. I refuse to take any type of shortcuts to my success. So I'm like, Lord, when I go to these interviews, when I, map out whatever it is that I'm doing for my future, I truly want to know how to do it the right way. So he gave me that roadmap. And I remember I had to make a deal with him. Okay. I was like, okay, God, if you trust me with money, I promise you, I will give 10% back to the church.
Yes.
I will feed the homeless. Yes. I'll help ministries. I'll help put walls on schools, running waters in villages. But you've got to trust me. He was like, okay. Right. And guess what, girl? He gave me $400 in food stamps.
That's right.
I treated that $400 like it was $1 million. I was like,
that's
yes.
Right.
Now, this is significant because prior to, it was just my son and I just recently got divorced from my first husband. It was going on a year. And of course, I had no money. I had no help, no career at the time because I was just focused on being a wife and a mom. Okay. And so when I found out that, the marriage wasn't going to work, I had to quickly figure something out. So that's when the onset of this whole conversation began. So for me, it was super important for me to establish what it was I was going to do and how I was going to do it, and expeditiously.
Yes, yes.
So I got my $400,000 food stamps, girl, and I went to the church and I stood outside and I'm like, what family needs food? Who has a big family?
That's
so
right.
I really trusted in God to lead me to the right family. And each time
and give it back.
Consistently, I was able to give to a family who happened to be in need at that time. And I also donated food to the church because the church would always feed the homeless. So I took that $400 in food stamps and I multiplied it. And as a result, my cupboards were overwhelming with food.
Yes.
So, and then God increased me. Went from $400 in food stamps. So he actually trusted me with cash, girl. I was like, hello, elevation. Yes. I was moving on up. Then from there, and God did this quickly. So to me, it's a lesson in that. It's like, if you are serious about what you want, then you will be intentional about a pathway to get there. Yes. And we've got to remember that it's human effort and divine power. And if we give 100% of who we are, then when we are at the end of us is when he shows up.
He shows
right?
up. He shows
but
up.
we've got to work and pray. After we're done praying, we've got to get up off our knees like we believe everything we prayed and that God is going to do everything we asked him to do right away. Right. We've got to believe in speed, right? But then we have got to get up and work like everything we prayed on depended solely on us and us alone.
Yes.
And it's with that effort and with that tenacity and with that speed that God within, I would say by the end of that year, he blessed me with my first six-figure income through my business that happened to fall into my lap within 6 months. So it was just truly a blessing,
The blessing of believing. And the blessing of giving back.
Yes.
Because a lot of people will receive and they don't give back.
Right.
And I don't know if I ever did share with you about poverty because I temporarily was homeless. Knowing that when my mom, we didn't have a place to live and we stayed at a little bit it's an attic, like 6 of us, and just one little room. And no kitchen, no nothing, and we were eating pretty much Chinese food every day. And growing up, I know how it feels like not to have things
Yeah.
that I want when I want. And this is why also when you talk about the blessings, giving back, I always want to give back.
Yeah.
Because I know how it feels like.
Right, to
I
be on the
know
other side.
to be on the other side.
Yeah.
And some people got it worse or had it worse than I did, but at least I did experience it a little bit.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And it's all about not taking life for granted.
There you go.
It's not about not taking life for granted. But you talk about being divorced.
Yeah.
Is that why you decided to write Dear Future Husband, because you wanted to get back into the married life? I mean, what prompted you to write Dear Future, starting the whole Dear Future Husband movement?
I'm a wife.
Okay.
I'm single, but I'm a wife.
But you're a wife.
So I'm horrible at dating. When I tell you, sis, I treat these
One
men.
second.
Yeah.
You talk about horrible dating. I just read a book called Dating is Trash.
But can you imagine? I love that. I cannot wait to read it, by the way. Can I forward it? I mean, my goodness. Definitely support that one. But yeah, it's just, I've been a wife I would say most of my adult life. And so being single and realizing, like, one of the first things I did after the demise of my marriage, and I thought it would really last forever, Miriam.
Yes.
Like, I did not see divorce in my future. So once we actually got there and I realized that there was no turning back, I wanted, I realized that single life is not for me, like, immediately.
Yes.
I was like, I loved my husband, but I know that he's not my, forever man. He's not my forever person.
But how did you know that? How did you come to that conclusion that he wasn't your forever?
Okay, there's something in the Bible, right? Okay. And it talks about, I would, we didn't divorce for cheating. There were other things that were non-negotiables for me that were, I would say, were maybe kept away from me prior to us getting married. And when I found out about them, I did address those issues, and they never went away. So after over a decade of just trying and being patient, I couldn't, I was done. So I, asked God to do me a favor, and if this is no longer my husband, then I needed him to work on my heart, because I loved him so much. I would have stayed and dealt with it. But God had to minister to me, like, you're raising girls. And how can you truly love me if you're not showing your daughters that you love you? So I had to stand up for them. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
It was in that movement that I had to make that change. And I'm grateful that I did. Today we're great friends.
Nice.
But we can no longer be together.
We have to move on. We have to move on.
Yes,
well, I was married also.
Yeah.
And I'm a divorcee. And I'm like you. I love being a wife.
Yeah.
I don't like being single.
Right.
But I'm single because, we here in Atlanta, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes to find the right partner. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago, and he says, that's 15 to 1, and you don't have a lot of choice.
Maybe to him.
That's what I said to him.
I live in an abundant universe.
I said, okay, 15 to 1. So that means what? We have to settle, right? We have to settle because
What does that
we don't have
mean?
enough men out there. But a lot of people are settling because a lot of people are afraid being alone. They don't know how it's like to embrace oneself without having a lover, a partner.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give anybody on how to embrace oneself?
Well, definitely, first of all, we have to realize that that's all a perspective. I don't care what the numbers are. If you live within your mind in an abundant universe, and you believe that everything is plentiful and there's enough for everything, like, you can ask anyone who knows me, there's always an abundance of men around me.
Of everything that we want.
Anything.
Yes,
because if we
yes.
really believe that, when we can really truly experience it. So, but one thing that's going to be so important, not just for me, but for any woman that's living, especially in Atlanta, is really truly understanding yourself and loving yourself. oh my God, I can't stress that enough. I mean, it sounds so cliche-ish, but that means when the man that doesn't look like the man that you saw in your vision, he's showing up, I don't care what he looks like. If it's not matching, don't waste your time.
Okay, so some
It's
people will
friend zone
say,
immediately.
some people will say, you know, we always fantasizing, right? Us women, we always say, okay, I want the tall, bald head, wealthy. So a short man could come to us and he could actually be a really good man. So because that's not the person we're visualizing, so what do? We walk away, we don't give a chance.
I think it's important for us to really understand our list. Right? So
The list.
The list.
The
See, this is
list.
what my book and my journal is that's what it's all
Okay.
about. It's number one. Once you go through the first chapter 1, it talks about the things, write down everything you want in a man. Like everything, seriously, go all the way in. How you want his toes to curl when you kiss him. I mean, it doesn't matter. Write it down. But when you're done with that, the most important list is list number 2. So you can just take list number 1 and tear it up, rip it up, burn it to shreds. It doesn't even matter. List number 2 is who you got to be. Like, okay, if I want this, I got to be this. If I want this, I got to be this. If I want, and that's the list that's most important, right? So that's what my book in essence is all about. So if you understand who you are, you're only going to bring into your life who you are and who you're becoming. A lot of us, we date at the level that we used to be. Not realizing that we need to be dating at the level of who we're becoming. So if we're really focused about that right partner, physicality isn't as important as character.
Right.
Right?
Well, that was going to be my next point. What about integrity, character, right?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Sometimes we could visualizing that man. I want, Denzel Washington to be coming here tall, and then we find him and he turned out to be the worst of the worst.
Because you're looking for Denzel Washington.
Because I'm looking for Denzel.
That's right. You need to be looking for a man that can match the character of the person you know that you can aspire to look up to. Like, it just doesn't make sense for us to look for what's physical, but the beauty in that, most men that are walking with integrity, that are honorable, that are just, that are humble, that are meek, that are ambitious, that are enterprising, they're typically very handsome.
They're handsome.
How about that? So if you work on being honorable, walking with integrity, being meek, being humble, being enterprising, guess who you're going to attract to you?
Exactly.
That type of experience.
Yes.
It'll chase you down.
Yes.
You ain't got to look for it.
So what exercise, how would a woman visualizing her man? Does she needs to close her eyes and meditate, or does she really needs to write down, just like you say, write down every description of this person, what it is that I'm looking? What's the best method of visualizing?
Well, okay. Can I just keep it real?
Keep it real. This is a Muriam
There is
Cinevert
absolutely no woo-woo, suicide, none of that.
Okay.
It's literally about writing down what it is you want, right? And in your quiet moments after your prayer, you sit quietly and let God download for you. That's the form of meditation I teach, right?
Okay.
I don't teach emptying your mind and just letting anything in. Absolutely not. I believe that once you open yourself up, if you're not intentional about what you're opening yourself up to, you're literally opening yourself up to almost anything to enter. But if you pray, right, and you know what you're praying for, and you've already written it down, you can spend time in quiet moments just now letting God download things to you. He will download that direction. He will download that person. He will download that library, that office meeting you need to go to, whatever it is. He will then take the opportunity to download to you if you ask. But oftentimes we just don't ask. We just expect for things to happen by osmosis.
Yes. We just go with the
never
flow.
does.
A lot of us goes with the flow, right?
Right.
Let's see how this guy treats me. Let's see, So let's talk about dating.
Yes.
You say you hated dating. Did I hear that right? You don't like dating.
Now,
Did
I said I suck at it.
You suck at
I'm
it.
really bad.
Okay, but you date.
I do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
How often should a single person date?
As often as possible.
As often?
Yeah.
Like every day, once a week, twice
It
a
depends
week?
on your, I'm not saying make it a sport, but just make it a regular activity. And then, we gotta understand just to recognize time wasters.
Okay.
Ask the right questions. Once you're asking the right questions, if he's intimidated, if he gives you pushback, he's not the one. Move on, sis. He ain't changing. Okay.
He's not changing.
So, I think those things are really important to date. Date often. Just say yes. If you can get past that first conversation, say yes. If he looks like he could possibly be a great match for you, say yes. What the heck? I typically say, let's go for smoothies, because
That's where I was
if it's
gonna go.
yeah, no, don't take me
Yeah.
on those expensive nothing.
That's where I was going to go.
I
My
want a
first date is always
smoothie.
at a coffee shop.
Girl, yes.
always-
Okay.
yes.
And I try to keep it healthy. I drink coffee when I need to, but at a smooth, like someplace for something simple. If it doesn't go well, I'm exiting stage left respectfully.
Respectfully.
You get what I'm saying? Because I value my time. I know how much I'm worth an hour, and I know the value that I can bring to a man's life. It's value that's going to transform and it's going to elevate. And if you can't be a recipient of that, then I'm not wasting my time.
You said, I know how much I'm worth an hour. So
Yeah.
some people would say, well, it's dating, not a job.
Yeah,
not a
but my
business.
time,
So
my time.
you're trying to get to know someone.
yes.
But we're putting dollar
Mm-hmm.
into that too. Why is that?
For me, I am a student of finance because that's the industry I'm in. So for me, I always make sure that before I move on something, it has to bring value to me. So I keep myself in check for that. So I do not spend a lot of frivolous time doing anything. I could be bringing value to my family, to my home, to my children, to my future husband, to myself. So for me, because I'm in the finance industry, I'm a calculated person. So I'm always gauging to see what's respectfully in alignment with what I want.
So don't waste your time.
Absolutely
Don't
not.
waste your
I
time,
won't let
'cause
anyone.
You are worth $1 million.
Absolutely.
Hello. But
Right.
I am just having such a enjoyable moment with you, having
Likewise,
this
yeah.
conversation, because it is definitely a topic, and I cannot wait to have the gentleman here on my station, the Muriam Cinevert Show, to really, I want to get deep into the brain of men,
Yeah.
of what it is they're looking for in a woman, and why, and why so many single women out there, and they don't want
Yeah.
to commit, because a lot of people don't want to commit. They have a commitment problem.
Yeah,
have
well,
a
those aren't the ones you spend
Those
time
are
with.
not the one. Exactly.
They're not the ones.
Exactly.
Focus on what you want.
Yes.
And the things you don't will just disappear.
Like that. Well, again, it's such an enjoyment, a topic we are talking about, and divorcee and a mother. Not just a mother, but mother of 5 children.
Hey, handful, girl.
Mother of 5 children.
Yes.
So how do you keep up with 5 children? I have one. Well, let's just say I have 3, because I have 2 stepchildren that I adore, and then I have 1 biological child. But mother of 5, what other ages, girl?
Okay, my baby, she's 5 years old.
Oh.
So 5, 7, 9, 14, and 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the journey of being a mother and then out there dating. Isn't it hard? How does that go? When you go out on a date, do you say, children, mama going out on a date? I am looking for a deal with your husband. I mean, I just like
No, I let children stay children.
Hello.
But we did have the conversation when I decided, hey, I am ready. So I did sit my children down and I did talk to them about, hey, how would you feel about mommy dating, for marriage? So they gave me their opinion and it was so cute. So you have to watch my show to actually see how that turned out. So it was really cool.
Okay.
But, the beautiful thing is that I'm so grateful to be a mom. I was actually told that I would never give birth to children.
Oh, no.
Yeah. My grandmother, by the time she was 36, she died of cervical cancer. By the time my mom was 24 years old, she had to have a full hysterectomy. And by the time I was 18 years old, my menstrual cycles were so heavy and painful, they said I would never give birth.
Wow.
So when I got married, I just chose not to believe that. You know, I was a very nurturing person. Children loved me, and I saw children in my future. And my first son, I knew that he would be a godsend, and his name would be Michael. God gave me that way before this doctor's diagnosis. So
Yes.
I got a second opinion girlfriend, and they said the same thing.
Yes.
But then I went back again, and then I eventually went to a naturopathic doctor, and that's why my children and I have been plant-based. They've never had meat.
Nice.
And they love their life. They love their diet, and you know, they're pretty calm because they don't eat all the toxins, you know.
Yes.
But it's really a great life, Miriam, and I wouldn't change, you know, my children for anything. And if I ever meet a man that has an issue with it, then I know that that's not for me.
Bye-bye.
And that's it.
Bye-bye.
My new husband is going to love children.
That's right.
And he's going to look at my children like they're his own.
That's right.
And that's just what it is.
That's right. You know, the greatest gift for me is being a mom.
Yeah.
I love being a mom.
Yeah.
If I had to do it over and over and over and over again, I will.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my son about dating. And I didn't date for the while he was growing up. I didn't date at all. It was all about him. And when about 2 years ago, I had a conversation with him. I said, I think it's time that I start dating. He was okay.
Our kids want us to have fun. You know what I mean?
It wasn't anything like, Mom, no, don't.
Right.
You know, because sometimes we're thinking our children doesn't want us to go out there and to find the one that we've been visualizing. But they do. They want to see us happy.
They do.
They do want to see us happy.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Belinda, for being here. Thank you for saying yes.
Pleasure. Yes.
I enjoyed you. I enjoy our conversation.
Yeah.
I enjoy everything you just pour into me and pour into the viewers. And remember, you owe the key to your own life. The blessings that will come to you is by you believing that when you pray and you ask God to pour blessing into your life, that you also have to believe it. Thank you, Belinda, so much for being part of the show. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you. You really have been such a joy to have, and you have poured so much into me and so much into the viewers. And thank you to all of you for watching the Muriam Cinevert Show. Remember, be you, be bold, and be true. Till next time.
Hey.